Welcome to the Music Nut Program. I'm John. Thank you so much for joining me today for the latest edition of It's Smithereens Saturday with their eighth LP, The Lost Album. This was released on September 23, 2022. This is comprised of recordings between January and April of 1993. And at this time, they were in limbo. They had been released from Capitol Records after the album Blow Up. And after these songs were recorded, they would sign with RCA Records and give us a date with the Smithereens. So these songs were supposedly going to be lost forever. Originally, the recordings were in a fire. These are from the band's personal archives. And I will tell you, based on a recording of this, it doesn't sound like they're from archives. They don't sound like something that would be B-sides. They don't sound like they would be songs that would not be up to snuff. This is very solid, very good. The band members here from the Smithereens, of course, we got Pat Denizio, main songwriter, singer and rhythm guitar. We got Jim Babchak on lead guitar. We got Dennis Dyken on drums and percussion. We got Mike Messeros on bass. And all the band members are chiming in on the vocals. So, as I said, this is very solid. There are no duds on here. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Grant Arthur for introducing me to this album, because I didn't know this album came out in 2022. But what happened was Grant went to see this. He saw the Smithereens on the 80s cruise, and they were selling the album on the cruise, and he bought it and he said, "This is great." And I had no idea it was out there. So after he told me that, I went to the Smithereens website and I bought it directly from them. $20, shipping included. And just to let you know, this album is available on Amazon as well. It might be available at your local independent record stores also. Just check them out. But you also get a thank you note from Jim Babchak, and he also tells you about his eBay site where he has some collectibles. I went on to his eBay site today. Right now, he's not available till October 21. Last time I went on there were only 2 items available, but he has sold a lot of things through his eBay site. You also get this note here saying we are sending out some, it's not really going to come up well, but basically this says we're going to send out some issues of our Smithereens newsletter called Reen Thoughts to people who order from website, and this came as well. This is pretty cool. This is from 1995. It gives you a lot of cool information here. Gives you some tour dates, and the guys have their own little columns on here, and they're advertising their greatest hits compilation, Blown to Smithereens. So let's get back to the Lost Album, and let's talk about the tracks here. Well, before we go into it, the recording, according to what Mike Messeros says in these liner notes, it's 80% finished and rough mix. But I'll tell you what, the recording on here is pretty strong. It sounds like they're playing in your living room. And on this recording, if you open it up, you got a lot of nice pictures of the band in here. Let's just show you this. You got a lot of nice pictures of the band. You got some great liner notes. And here's the CD. I'll show you that. Here's what the CD looks like. And there's a picture on the back here where they have the track listing. And this guy in the middle, I think this is Chumley before he made it big on that show Pawn Stars on the History Channel. So, as for the tracks themselves, Out of This World was the single. Catchy as Sin would have fit in like a glove on any of their first 3 albums, certainly. Even Blow Up, to be honest. In fact, the chorus on here has a feel similar to Top of the Pops, which was the debut song on Blow Up. Excellent pre-chorus on this one. Very well crafted. One of the best songs on the album. This is a very catchy track. Next song is Dear Abby. Let's start the song with the title. in the beginning, just like the Beatles. This is pretty decent. We have a nice bridge in it, nice solo by Jim on this as well. Decent track. Don't Look Down has a bit of a melancholy feel to it. It's got a nice chorus. We have backing vocals here by a lady singer, but she's uncredited. I can't make out if that's Marty Jones or Maria Vidal or Belinda Carlisle or Suzanne Vega, but she does a very strong job on here. The space between the instruments is really strong on this. It's a solid track. A World Apart was on Pat Denizio's Songs and Sounds album from 1997. We got a nice lyrical solo here. A lot of jangly guitar on here. Nice bridge. Very 60s. Most of the best stuff by the Smithereens has that 60s feel to it. Really cool. Now, Stop Bringing Me Down. This is by far the longest track on here. 5 minutes and 43 seconds. All the other songs are less than 4 minutes. We got a tight album, 12 songs, just under 42 minutes. And the distortion pedal has been plugged in. The guitars are really loud on here. Nice call and response between Pat's and the guitars. Good riffs on it. A lot of space. It's slower track. Pretty cool. A lot of echo on here for the chorus as well. After this track, I think you really get into some really cool tunes on here. Pretty Little Lies feels a lot like Buddy Holly. Very, very much like Buddy Holly with the harmonies on the verses, the nice ringing acoustic guitars. Pat sings it very well. You hear this song, you're like, oh, this would fit right in on Little Steven's Underground Garage. Monkey Man is a cool guitar. Well, how can I say it? A garage rock song. This really rocks. It's very spirited. And no, it's not Monkey Man. It's not a cover by the Stones or the Specials or Toots and the Maytals. This is an original. Nice bridge on here. Always the best songs by the Smithereens always had nice bridges in it. This works very, very well. One of the better tracks on the album, as is Everyday World, which was also on Pat's Songs and Sounds album. Very good song again in that 60s vein, acoustic pop song. Nice bridge in it, short electric solo from Jim on here. Bass lines from Mike. The counter bass lines from Mike are excellent on this one. Face the World with Pride, that's Jim on the lead vocal. He does a great job on here. This is very kind of a Buddy Holly feel. To me, it's very early Beatles. Those first few albums when there was still a lot of covers on the albums. And particularly with those harmonies, this is very strong. Another nice track. No duds on this album. Let me just emphasize that. Everything on here is good to very good. Love Runs Wild, another acoustic track, very much like the Byrds. Nice harmonies. We do have a noisy guitar solo here from Jim. I'm Sexy, which was written by Jim Babchak. This and Out of This World, I think, are the best songs on the album. This is so catchy. Very well crafted. Nice solo during the fade out. You got some organ on here during the musical bridge and the verses. Dennis's drumming is really cool on here. He's laying down a great groove on it. Very well done. This sounds like something that would have fit in like a glove on those first two albums. All Through the Night is the closer and continues the Smithereens tradition of adding, ending a song with something that's more whimsical. Very acoustic track on here. Then the second guitar comes in on the second verse. Really nice way to end the album. And this is quite good. I mean, for something that was lost and, we never knew if this was going to come out, this is very good. If you like the rest of their albums, I would highly recommend picking this one up. So, have you heard the Lost album? And if you have, what do you think of these songs? Do you think these songs sound great as they are, or do you think it should have had a more professional production on here? The Smithereens produce this themselves, by the way. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the Lost album. Next week will be the last episode of It's Smithereens Saturday. What I will do is I will give you my list of how I would rank these albums from my least favorite to my favorite. I'm not saying it's the worst to the best, the least favorite to my favorite. I will also discuss their live album, The Smithereens Live in Concert, Greatest Hits and More. This is signed by the band. I bought this at one of their gigs, and all the guys signed this for me. I didn't buy it signed. This was the first time I met the Smithereens. And this is a very good double live album that I will be going over next week. I'm sorry it's not double live, it's only one disc. Just to give you some upcoming program notes. October 14, Grants Rock Warehouse. Join BM Bolt, DC Tune Time, John Clauser, Yvonne the Music Man, along with the incomparable Grant Arthur and myself as we discuss our top 10 favorite songs from 1984. This is going to be live. We always have a fantastic rapport with everybody that joins in on the chat. And this should be a very interesting show because in 1984, I know John and I were really starting to get into music heavy. So I think you're going to see a lot of hard rock and heavy metal choices on there. The Accept series Up to the Limit continues on my music corner. Join John and I as we are joined by my friend, the incomparable Nick Esquire. We will be review their album, Russian Roulette from 1986. That will debut on Wednesday, October 16 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next day, Thursday, October 17, right here on the Music Nut program. It's Thin Lizzy Thursday will continue as I review their third album, Vagabonds of the Western World. So, until I see you all again, do what you love, and I'll talk to you soon.